welcome along to Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle sitting in with you here on this Monday, the final Monday of 2018. Hope your weekend was a good one and your week's off to a good start. Thanks a lot for taking us along wherever you're going, whatever you may be doing. We appreciate you taking us along with you for the ride. Justin Kalen high atop the Crew Chiefs box.
That's right.
Hope, how was your weekend?
It was good. Nice and sports filled. There was a lot going on in terms of college football playoffs, college basketball, some couple good games. It's a good weekend.
Yep. Lots to get to, lots to talk about. Make sure you always, thanks a lot for taking us along. If you're listening on the radio now, you can always find us as well on Facebook at indianasportsbeat.com. Grueling Truth, at Grueling Truth, or go to the Grueling Truth Twitter, of course. You can find us there as well as many other places. iTunes, on iTunes, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and all that as well. But make sure you can sign up at indianasportsbeat.com. That way you never miss a beat. It'll send you each and every episode. Before we get any further, though, let's get to the headlines with Justin.
All right. Here are your headlines for this Monday, December 31st, brought to you by Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart, located on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs. College Football National Championship is set as Alabama and Clemson will once again square off. It was a 30-3 win over Notre Dame for Clemson and a 45-34 win for Alabama over Oklahoma. The NFL playoffs are also set as the Colts won 33-17 last night over the Titans to clinch their division and grab the final playoff spot. Heading into the Super Bowl, the Saints are the favorites. After 37 seasons total and 2 at Indiana, offensive coordinator Mike DeBord announces his retirement. Those are your headlines for this December 31st, brought to you by Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart, located on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs.
Absolutely. Probably one of the bigger stories today. Mike DeBord is resigning as offensive coordinator at Indiana, something that is not at all surprising. Pretty much what was expected to happen. A little worries. It was getting a little worrisome, I think, for some people after they announced the defensive change first. But so lots of news coming up for Indiana football. They just announced that they will be handing over, Tom Allen, rather, will be handing over the defensive coordinator duties to
Kane
Womack, who is the linebackers coach already. Now, this is going to be a very, very interesting hire for Indiana. Do they do the Indiana thing and hire somebody that's down below him and just move him up? If they do that, that would not make very many people happy, I don't think.
I think the wide receiver coach needs a shot.
Really?
No.
I think that would make a lot of people very unhappy. This is not just an opportunity to get a different offensive coordinator. This is an opportunity to get a good offensive coordinator. Don't just make a move, Indiana. Make a move. I know one name that's Matt Canada. He's not been hired anywhere, has he?
Don't think so.
That tells me, and I've seen no mention of his name anywhere for anything. One thing that might lead someone to believe is that contact was made immediately upon his termination as to his availability, and that this was in the works, but kept quiet until signing day finished.
Which makes sense.
Not really. Because I think it would be a step up if you were announcing you're hiring Matt Canada as opposed to what you had. It's not a secret that fans were not happy with how the offense was run last couple of years. No secret to that. No secret to the fact that the offense was unimaginative and bland. So I think that would be a positive step in announcing, hey, we just hired a guy that made a hell of a run at Maryland this year.
Oh, and by the way, he's got ties here and knows a whole lot of people.
I understand. Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a former coach here.
Yeah. So you could tell him.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't think that would have been bad. I get why, but this, to me, is a step up. Or it would. Now, that would be a step up. I'm putting the cart before the horse there. That's no idea, no mention of that. There's been no word of that whatsoever. That's pure speculation on my part. So let's be clear about that. But he's just, it's almost too good to pass up for Indiana. Matt Canada has ties, deep ties. He used to coach at Indiana. He's from Indiana. He, too, is very, very familiar with the Indiana high school coaches. That would just only solidify Indiana's recruiting efforts within the state. But I think it would allow better recruiting. But then, how long is Matt Canada going to stay an offensive coordinator?
Right. That's the thing. I mean, he had head coaching experience this year.
Especially when he probably has more experience than the man he would be working for.
Quite possibly.
But very interesting. Who's going to be that next offensive coordinator? Hit us up with your thoughts. Text line is 812-269-6367. Let us know what your thoughts are.
One more headline that I missed. It's expected that Steve Alford will lose his job today.
Oh, today?
Today.
Wow. I didn't think it would come during the season.
Yeah.
But they lost 4 straight.
It's not official yet, but it's expected to become official later today.
In those 4 games they lost, included Belmont and Liberty.
Not good.
No, not good at all. And remember when everybody was all clamoring for Alford to get the Indiana job?
Blessing in disguise.
Well, I knew that wasn't. I mean,
Yeah.
that was not going to happen. I knew that. The only thing that bothers me is they got Chris Wilkes out there, who could have been playing for Indiana right now. Would have been a helpful. Yeah, that's the difference between Indiana today and Indiana 20 years ago. Kyle Guy would be playing at Indiana. Chris Wilkes would be playing at Indiana.
It's getting that way.
Yeah, it's getting back there. Getting back there. We've got a good show today for you guys. Don Fisher's on. We'll talk to Drew Davis as well from Pigs.com. Get caught up on lots of high school action over the weekend still. Lots of prospects. Armand Franklin was in action, I know, against Trace Jackson, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Big game. Cathedral and Center Grove. But was that in the finals of the
I think so, yeah.
of the Raymond James Hall of Fame
I
Classic?
think so.
Cathedral wins that in double overtime. Great game. A couple of Indiana recruits there. Armand Franklin, I think, had 28 points. Was the player of the tournament game, whatever. A lot went on this weekend, man. A lot of the bowl games are in action, of course. We've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do. Busy show.
The college football playoffs, of course, underway. 2 lopsided, well, one really lopsided game. The Notre Dame-Clemson game was just a mess. Notre Dame showed that they did not belong. What did I say all year?
They didn't belong.
Didn't belong, man. Why? I don't understand why common sense is such a difficult thing. It was with common sense that I knew Notre Dame did not belong, is why I said that.
Yeah.
Now, do I think it really matters who that other team is? Yeah, I'm not so certain. I'm not so certain. I would like to have seen, I'm going to be honest with you, I'd like to have seen Central Florida get a shot.
I mean, if it was going to be an ass whooping like that, yeah, might as well.
Could they gotten beat any worse than Notre Dame did?
No, couldn't imagine.
I bet you they put points on the board. They put points on too damn many people. They did it. They showed last year when they beat Auburn, the only team that beat Alabama last year, that they could play.
After a year like this, me and a buddy of mine were talking yesterday. If UCF goes undefeated again next year, you've got to put them in, right? I mean, what's it going to hurt? Like you said, I mean,
yeah, but and then what sucks is their best team was probably last year's team.
Yeah, agreed.
And it takes them 3 years to get there. Well, we don't have our good stuff now, but it is what it is. But the Notre Dame game, yeah, that was just bleh. And even the Alabama-Oklahoma game, I fell asleep.
That was horrible.
Look up, it's 21-0. I'm like, come on.
It went up to 28-0, and it was 21-0, I believe, in the first quarter.
But then it got to within one score.
Yeah, Oklahoma made it close.
Manny Diaz is going to be Miami's new head coach.
How about that?
Talk about the retirement of Mike DeBoer. Also the retirement of Mark Richt.
Let's get Mark Richt in as OC.
Well, he didn't do a very good job in Miami, so.
Not as head coach.
Yeah, I can see Mark Richt, who has been at Georgia and Miami, coming to Indiana as offensive coordinator for Tom Allen.
Why not?
It's like the president coming to New Albany and working for the mayor, assistant mayor or something. Yeah, that ain't happening.
No.
But, yeah, Mark Richt out at Miami after 3 nondescript years there.
Hard to believe he's been there 3 years already.
Who they lost what? They lost big to Wisconsin.
Yeah, 35-3.
Speaking of Wisconsin, basketball, do you know who they lost to this weekend?
Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky Hilltoppers takes down Wisconsin.
Only knew that because I saw Lauren Jones bragging about it on Twitter.
Here's what's funny. All right, you got Western that knocks off Wisconsin, a team that was ranked way above Indiana. You've got Marquette ranked above Indiana. Indiana kicked the crap out of Marquette. You've got Arizona State. They beat Kansas last week. You know what they do for an encore? They lost to an Ivy League school at home. Of course, they were ranked higher than Indiana because they beat Kansas, and so they go from unranked to 17th.
Makes sense.
And then their encore is to lose at home to an Ivy League school. That shows you how ridiculous this AP poll is. So stop putting stock in it. Or not just the AP poll, the coaches poll, AP poll, both the human polls. You got to start looking at the net rankings, KenPom, stuff like that. That's just real. It's just real. Indiana's being punished for that beatdown they took at Duke. How they lost that game, well, I don't think they're going to be the only one that loses like that in Cameron Indoor this year.
No. Well, and Indiana's kind of getting screwed in the AP poll. I mean, that's why I agree. Don't really put stock into it. They didn't play this week. I guarantee they drop a spot.
Well, the reason they dropped last week after 2 wins. But the reason they dropped is because Arizona State beat Kansas, and they go from unranked to they jumped in and ranked them, which that moved Indiana down right there. There was another team that came in from outside, but that's why they went down. But it just shows you, like, the flavor of the day. Oh, Arizona State. Oh, they beat Kansas. Oh, we got to put them up here. Oh, yeah, you lost to who? The Citadel? Oh, okay, you're back out.
The Citadel.
Well, that's who someone like that. It was an Ivy League school. You'll have to look it up. But we've got a lot to get to today. Thanks a lot for tuning us in on the program as we prepare for New Year's. It's the last day I get to talk to you this year. Don Fisher's coming up on the show. Stay tuned. We got more coming up here on Indiana Sports Beat. We're back right after this. This is Jim Coyle. When I'm not on the road covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 on the northeast side of I-65 at Veterans Parkway in Clarksville. Bring the team in for that post-win meal in the family dining area or just meet friends for happy hour. Bubba's has bold burgers, hand-tossed pizzas, mouth-watering wings, and a list of select local craft brewers for the coldest beer in town. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Burgers, pizza, beer.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
If you're a homeowner and have storm damage to your roof, you want a hometown contractor you can count on and trust. Brooks Roofing of New Albany has been doing quality work since 2006. Check out their work for yourself at brooksroofingin.com. No job is too big or too small, commercial or residential. Brooks Roofing is probably working in your neighborhood right now. Visit brooksroofingin.com or call 812-868-ROOF. That's 812-868-ROOF. Brooks Roofing, the protection you need when nature strikes.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
All right, crew, let's get her dug.
Honey, you want to give me a hand? I'm planting that tree, remember?
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. This includes natural gas and petroleum pipelines, electric, communication cables, and water and sewer lines. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
If you want to get your day off to a good start, then stop at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs. While you're filling your gas tank, you could fill your own tank with a hot breakfast or try one of Billy Joe's daily lunch special. Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart opens at 5 a.m. and everything is made fresh daily. And if you bring your own mug, coffee is only 50 cents. And Billy Joe's also has free air. The best place to start your day is at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs.
If you want the most comprehensive coverage of the Indiana Hoosiers, you need Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle. Join us each Monday through Friday for interviews with the players and playmakers. Weekly guests like Don Fisher, Terry Hutchins, and Chronic Hoosier. We've got live reports from each game. No one gives you better coverage of Indiana athletics. Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle is available on iTunes and Google Play. You can follow us on Facebook or at indianasportsbeat.com. Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle. We don't miss a beat. Welcome back to Indiana Sports Beat here on December 31st, the last day of 2018. Thanks a lot for taking us along here on this last day of the year. Justin Kalen, high top the crew chief's box as always.
That's right.
Talked about the college football playoffs underway. And Alabama, of course, took on Oklahoma in the semifinal game Saturday. Before that, and after we were off the air, I think we missed this last week, but Keenan Williams is a defensive lineman for Alabama. and they had the media questions going around. Every guy's meeting with the media, and he was sitting up on his table, and a guy had asked him about Kyler Murray, and it's you have to listen to this closely, and the video is a lot better, but it's as if Nick Saban just walks up out of nowhere and points at this guy's face because he shuts up in mid-sentence. He's about to say that I don't think Kyler Murray's all that. But he stops in like mid-stroke. And it's like Nick Saban grabs his tongue. Hit it.
Quarterback that slightly resembles Kyler Murray.
Now I don't feel like I have going against a quarterback slightly resembling Kyler Murray, but I feel like Kyler Murray is not worried about.
What's that?
No, I'm good.
Oh, you've got to look it up the video because it's even better. But
Just the way he stops, that bottom lip quivers a little bit.
I mean, it's like Nick Saban just went woof, pointed a laser beam at his head from someplace. He's in the middle of saying, Kyler Murray ain't all what everybody thinks he is. But I don't think Kyler Murray's. No, I'm good. I mean, that's classic. It's great stuff. I laughed so hard when that first came out last week. I mean, I watched it probably 10 times and laughed harder each time. And then I kept imagining in my mind Nick Saban dropping down like a ghost and just looking at him in the eyes. And his just tongue, or just reaching in and grabbing his tongue.
They also asked Quinnen Williams, I guess, at this press conference if he had ever been told that he sounds like Charles Barkley.
Nah, ain't nobody ever told me that. Charles Barkley, the man. I met Charles Barkley doing fall count one time, so and he rich. So if I can sound like Charles Barkley, that'd be cool.
So they need to get him and Charles together. Oh man, because I got news for you. Charles Barkley would not have stopped in the middle of what he was saying.
Oh no.
He said, "Oh man, Kyler Murray terrible. I think Kyler Murray terrible." That's what he would have said about Kyler Murray.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, that was good stuff. But the Alabama game, we didn't really talk about that one. That game was another blowout, 28-0. But Oklahoma made a run, gets it back to within a score.
They made it respectable.
But we kind of knew this going in. It was Alabama, and even though last week I picked Oklahoma when I had Todd Leary on the show, and what was his response?
Laughed. He said, "That's cute." I think were his
oh,
exact
yes,
words.
Yes, that has stuck with me all weekend. I'm like, no, I can't wait. Oh, he said, "Oh, that's cute." Should have played that again. Oh yeah, they're just better than everybody.
Yeah.
And Clemson too. I mean, now how good a game is Clemson-Alabama going to be?
Who knows at this point?
I think it should be because Clemson has the size and the speed. That's what these other teams don't have, man.
And they got Sunshine as their quarterback.
Sunshine and rain. So what's his name? Bass?
Trevor Lawrence? In the movie? Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Sunshine. Yeah, they got Sunshine. Looks a lot like him. You know, that school was in Virginia. So they're close.
Seeing some similarities.
Kid's a freshman.
Yeah.
True freshman,
Real
right?
good, yeah.
Unbelievable. Talking about Clemson's quarterback. Holy smokes.
Trevor Lawrence.
Took a shot. First game of the year. Do you remember that? About got knocked out of the season. He did get knocked out.
Got knocked out of that game, yeah.
But that should be a good game. You got Tua, who's looking pretty good. Do you know he's got a younger brother?
I do.
That
supposedly even better.
Will maybe at Alabama when Tua's last year.
convenient for them.
Crazy. The rich get richer. The rich get richer. But a lot of other bowl games. What are some of your other fun bowl games over the weekend?
There we go.
You're working.
I thoroughly enjoyed that Purdue game, to be completely honest with
yeah.
you.
Almost forgot about that. Almost forgot that Purdue gave up 56 first-half points. 56 first-half points. Do you know that is the most points given up or scored by any team in any bowl game in the history of bowl games?
I can believe it.
Maybe you should hang that banner, Purdue.
Purdue was they were 3.5-point underdog at kickoff. Just had a few things not go their way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually doing some things on Friday. I got to a restaurant and saw the score. It was 63-7 at that point. I was like, is this real? Unbelievable.
They scored at least.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, that vaunted Jeff Brom offense that I thought would fly was grounded.
Jeff Brom dupe Purdue?
Huh?
Did Jeff Brom dupe Purdue?
Nah. But, man, they just were not ready for that game. Woo, son. That's just an ass beating.
Indiana could have been closer than that.
Couldn't be much further away. They got a better defense than that. And they don't have any worse offense than 7 points.
Sure.
I think even DeBoer could have scored 7 points. But, yeah, what a beatdown that was.
Yeah, I'd have to say that was one of my favorites this weekend.
Holy cow. I mean, that was just... So now, you know how many undefeated teams are left in Division I football? At least in the top 10.
In football?
Mm-hmm.
What, 3?
Yeah. There's that same one undefeated team that's not getting the love that it didn't get last year.
Oh, UCF. What about Michigan, Florida? Did you see that game? That was surprising.
Why? Why is it surprising? Jim Harbaugh's 1-11 against top 10 teams. 1-11.
Not good.
Somebody had posted something on Twitter and about that, or about them losing that game, and I responded, I said, Harbaugh is 1-11 at Michigan against top 10 teams. And someone put about, well, what's Indiana's record? I go, what the hell does that have to do with Jim Harbaugh?
Right.
Well, they'd probably take that. I'm like, well, they probably about have that. A, and B, I said, is that acceptable as a Michigan fan? Well, it's better than what they have. I go, that's not my question. No, it's not acceptable. If that was anybody else, his ass would have been fired.
Yeah.
If Brady Hoke goes 1-11 against the top 10 teams, against Michigan State, against Ohio State, he's getting fired. Oh, he did get fired. Or got ran out of town. But this is Harbaugh. A lot of smoke and mirrors, man.
Yeah.
A lot of smoke and mirrors about how good they are, how great they are. Where are they? Yeah, getting smoked in a bowl game. Defense
was what, number 1 in the country, and they allowed 41 to Florida?
On a team that got beat by Kentucky. Yeah. A mid-level SEC team. That's embarrassing. Yeah. Embarrassing. Who's going to make it to the Super Bowl? Saints and the Rams?
Well, they're in the same conference, so that won't work.
I'm out of that conference.
You have to pick Saints or Rams, yeah?
Saints or the Rams.
Yeah, got to.
But
it'll be something.
I'm going with the Rams.
I'll go with Saints. And then on the other side, I don't know. It could be any number of teams. I think the Colts are a scary team heading into the playoffs. They're definitely somebody I wouldn't want to play. So we'll see.
Colts make the playoffs.
Yep.
With their 8th straight win?
Sounds right.
After starting the season 1-5, the Colts took on the Tennessee Titans yesterday. I did see a quote from Captain Andrew Luck.
Yes.
Wonder how fast. Oh, there. Dearest mother, I shall not be returning home quite yet. Our unit was victorious in the hard-fought, rain-soaked battle against the Titans. Jubilation. Our men gave it all their might. Save for one ricochet, my sidearm was true. We were awash with joy. I love you. Andrew, I've missed the ricochet. He bounced one off somebody's head.
Save for one ricochet.
What, did he bounce one off somebody's head?
I don't know. I miss that too. That's just hilarious. I just love the way they word things on that account.
It ain't they. It's one dude, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. And then Chronic Hoosier, he tweeted that Christmas come early in B-Town, or Christmas come late in B-Town. I think that was a direct reference in resignation of Mike DeBoard.
It was, because his very next tweet was about Mike DeBoard.
What was his very next? What did it say?
He said, pulled it up here. He just retweeted Indiana football. Mike DeBoard has announced his retirement after a 37-year career. But he tweeted the Christmas game late in B-Town first.
Hit us up on the text line. Let us know what your thoughts are to any of that. 812-269-6367. Hope your day's off to a great start. Got Drew Davis coming up. We're going to talk some recruiting here. We'll be right back here on Indiana Sports Beat. Oh, right after this.
The sheriff and his buddies with a samurai sword. You can even hear the music at night.
This is Jim Coyle. When I'm not on the road covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 on the northeast side of I-65 at Veterans Parkway in Clarksville. Bring the team in for that post-win meal in the family dining area or just meet friends for happy hour. Bubba's has bold burgers, hand-tossed pizzas, mouth-watering wings, and a list of select local craft brewers for the coldest beer in town. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Burgers, pizza, beer.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
If you're a homeowner and have storm damage to your roof, you want a hometown contractor you can count on and trust. Brooks Roofing of New Albany has been doing quality work since 2006. Check out their work for yourself at brooksroofingin.com. No job is too big or too small, commercial or residential. Brooks Roofing is probably working in your neighborhood right now. Visit brooksroofingin.com or call 812-868-ROOF. That's 812-868-ROOF. Brooks Roofing, the protection you need when nature strikes.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
All right, crew, let's get her dug.
Honey, want to give me a hand? I'm planting that tree, remember?
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. This includes natural gas and petroleum pipelines, electric, communication cables, and water and sewer lines. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
If you want to get your day off to a good start, then stop at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs. While you're filling your gas tank, you could fill your own tank with a hot breakfast or try one of Billy Joe's daily lunch special. Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart opens at 5 a.m. and everything is made fresh daily. And if you bring your own mug, coffee is only 50 cents. And Billy Joe's also has free air. The best place to start your day is at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs.
If you want the most comprehensive coverage of the Indiana Hoosiers, you need Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle. Join us each Monday through Friday for interviews with the players and playmakers. Weekly guests like Don Fisher, Terry Hutchins, and Chronic Hoosier. We've got live reports from each game. No one gives you better coverage of Indiana athletics. Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle is available on iTunes and Google Play. You can follow us on Facebook or at indianasportsbeat.com. Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle. We don't miss a beat. Today's guest is brought to you by Reynolds Family Dentistry of Sellersburg. You need $1 million smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you'll get with Reynolds Family Dentistry.
Welcome back to Indiana Sports Beat here on this final day of 2018. Joined now by our good friend Drew Davis. Drew from Pigs.com. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, Jim. How about you?
Great. How was your weekend? A lot of things going on over the weekend.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. I got to see quite a bit of basketball.
Yeah, and plenty of it. None bigger than I'd say the Raymond James Hall of Fame Classic there at Newcastle, which the championship game had Indianapolis Cathedral and Armand Franklin IU commit against Trace Jackson Davis and Center Grove, another IU commit. A great game. It went to double overtime.
Well, the championship game was actually undefeated Warren Central versus Center Grove.
Yeah, I misread that. That's what I meant. But yeah, great game.
It was a ridiculously good game, and I got to give Zach Hahn credit for the play that he drew up down one in that game to set the screen on the guy guarding the ball to get the space for Taven Jackson to throw the ball down the floor, and Taven threw a strike to Trace, and Trace had a great look from three, and it was just long, and but at the end of the day, you can't ask for a much better look considering circumstances of where you're inbounding that ball and the amount of time left on the clock.
And how about Warren Central, what they do? I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, they survived a great game from Trace Jackson Davis, the IU commit. Trace played really well. I mean, he was hitting some very tough shots, and he came out and played like a gamer, and that's what you expect out of Trace. Nearly recorded double. Still a little left-hand dominant, but overall a really nice performance from him. But Warren they just win, man. And you watch Warren Central play offensively, and it's really fun to watch. They run good offense. They move the ball. They have a lot of off-the-ball action. Coach Byers does a wonderful job with that program. And the funny thing about it is Warren is sitting here undefeated this year, and they play without David Bell all year long, and they're going to get him back in January, and that's going to be a scary thought for the competition. And Warren they go about things and they just win, and then it's been impressive, quite frankly, to watch over the last year or so. And they have guys on the same page playing hard and playing together, and it's been clicking for them.
Yeah, obviously it has. What a run they've had over the last two seasons, and the fact that they're doing that without David Bell. David Bell, of course, well known as being one of the top football recruits in the country, but he's a great basketball player. He hit the shot last year that put Warren Central over to Albany. Just a great athlete, and yeah, to be doing this without him, even makes it even more incredible.
Yeah, and with David is the thing. It's going to be easy to work him back in the team because at the end of the day, David's out there to win games for basketball, and that's what he cares about the most. And he's not going to have an ego when he comes back, and that's going to be easy for Byers to work him in. And I just am looking forward to seeing this team with David Bell. You know, they have Isaiah Moore, who's a really nice player. They have Manny Brown. This is a senior transfer. They got Jesse Bingham and Jacoby Robinson back as well. I'm just really interested to see this team once they get David Bell back in January, because I want to see just how good they are.
And Armand Franklin and Cathedral was definitely in action as well. Great weekend playing for him. A 28-point game, which they played.
Yeah, they were on the Bob Weddick tournament in Richmond, and they ended up taking home the title in that event. Armand had a fantastic tournament. He took home MVP honors. He kind of, from what I understood, there was a cheap shot on Armand Franklin in the semifinals of that event. There was some question whether he would play in the championship game, but he ended up playing and giving it a go. And
no, you mean a cheap shot by someone undercutting him or something?
Yeah, that's what I believe happened. He had an ankle injury, and he decided to play, and he was able to put together a really nice performance. I believe he had 30 points and 10 or 11 rebounds, and he also hit the go-ahead shot late. And Armand just continues to impress this year. And the thing is, his shot release has gotten better. He's moved it up, so he's knocking down more shots. Much more efficient rate. And Armand's just a guy that, the improvements he's made with his game has been something, that you kind of look at and you're not surprised by, just because you know the amount of time he puts in on his game. And Armand's a guy that I think is only going to continue to get better, because I know that he works on his game, and he really is enjoying the full process, of getting better and perfecting his craft. And I think that he's going to be, I should say, probably a steal in this class for Indiana, because just what he brings to the table, his versatility, he does a little bit of everything. He's going to be a 4-year guy. It's just a really nice get for Archie.
Absolutely. And I think there was a little unusual incident with his mother getting kicked out of the game. I don't know if it had something to do with that injury. I just remember seeing that.
Yeah, I didn't get to see it, so I'm not too sure what happened. From what I understood, his mom was not happy with the way the game was being called, and you obviously hate it when refs let the game get out of hand and somebody gets injured. There's no need for that. You have to keep the game under control if you're an official, and she didn't like that, which I don't blame her. I considered everything Armand, has coming his way down the line, and so she from what I understood, she had to spend the rest of the game in the hospitality room, and it was no biggie with the people of Richmond. I think they understood. At the end of the day, it wasn't that much. That wasn't that big of a deal, honestly.
Now, high school basketball, like college basketball, reached its holiday apex, and now teams will go back in their season. A lot of tournaments were being played over the last couple of weeks. A lot of teams traveling, but now it kind of gets back to serious high school games that matter in their conference and all those conference games and whatnot. A lot of good games that will be coming up here soon.
Yeah, if you move into conference play for the there'll be conferences. It'll be interesting, obviously, but it's going to be interesting as the Big Ten re-enters conference play. That they're not beginning since they've already played 2 games, but I think the Big Ten right now has maybe 10 of the 12 teams, or 10 teams. They have 10 teams in the top 60. 61 of the KenPom rankings last I looked, and that's impressive. That's a lot of good basketball teams, and that's a lot of teams that you're going to have to fight off, and, it's a lot of teams that are going to go at it, probably beat up on each other. But that's a very good sign for the Big Ten, and that should help them when it comes time for Selection Sunday. And, you look at conference play, it's going to be exciting, and Indiana, obviously, they get started with an Illinois team that's coming off a loss to Florida Atlantic, which I think kind of just sums up everything we've all thought about Illinois to start the season.
Yeah, Illinois is one of the lower end teams of the Big Ten. The Big Ten is very strong, as you just mentioned, with 10 out of the 14 in the KenPom top 60 thereabouts. That makes it a very difficult schedule ahead, but it's also going to give you a great if you can get through that gauntlet relatively unscathed. Man, your tournament resume is going to look pretty good. And I know I looked the other day just because it popped up. Because to me, in my mind, Indiana is a 4 seed right now. Their net ranking is 16th, which is the NCAA's ranking system. It replaced the old RPI. It's what they'll use to not as an only source, but they'll use that in seeding and tournament selection Sunday. So that's something I mentioned on there that people should pay way more attention to than the AP poll, the coaches poll, which doesn't mean jack. It has no bearing on the NCAA selection now. They do not use human polls at all. But in the net ranking, Indiana's 16th, and I think that's more in line with what they have gotten done this year. Because I mentioned before you came on, Drew, that the poll last week, Indiana dropped after 2 wins, but that was because 2 other teams popped in there. Arizona State beats Kansas, and they were like, oh, well, we got to put them in. They put them in at 17. It moves Indiana down. What does Arizona State do the very next game? They lose at home to an Ivy League school. You got Marquette that's ranked ahead of Indiana, that Indiana beat soundly. There's another, Wisconsin just lost to Western Kentucky that's ranked higher than Indiana. So the human polls don't mean squat, and Indiana's taking a beating, I think, right now for the way that they lost to Duke, the visually way they lost. I think they're being punished in the human polls for that.
Yeah, and I think basically what happens is I don't think a lot of people that vote in the AP poll, I don't think they watch a high number of games, and so they watch the Duke games. So that probably just sticks with people, and they're like, oh, Indiana's just not as good as what their overall body of work shows. And the other thing is we'll have to kind of wait and see on the net rankings to see how they're used. It's just, if they're used like they're supposed to be, then I think Indiana and, the Big Ten teams are going to have an advantage with the extra 2 league games, but we'll just have to see if they do use it like they're supposed to. And, the thing is, I'm glad you mentioned about the AP poll. I'm glad you mentioned the Marquette being specifically ranked ahead of Indiana. I always look at that and I'm like, does head-to-head not mean anything? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And to me, head-to-head is a big deal, but at the same time, I understand Indiana did play Marquette on their home floor, which is a major advantage. But at the same time, I value head-to-head a lot. That means a lot to me because, at the end of the day, the games that you're playing should mean something. And that's why I always say head-to-head should be kind of the tiebreaker when comparing resumes. And they're similar. And, don't get me wrong. Don't take me out of context on this. I think Marquette is a wonderful basketball team. I think Marcus Howard's are playing really well, but at the same time, I would put Indiana ahead of them right now, just based off the head-to-head showing. But there's just a lot of flaws with the AP poll right now. The voters, I don't know how much they watch. I don't know how knowledgeable some of them are. And the other thing is. The AP poll, when they send out the results to their voters every week, they just send win over. For example, Kansas. They just send lost to Arizona State. It's not going to say lost to Arizona State on the road. And to me, that's a problem because home and road means a lot in college basketball, and I don't think a team like Kansas should be punished as much for a loss on the road to Arizona State or Indiana. With a loss on the road to Arkansas or a loss on the road to Duke should be punished as much as a team that, loses at home, because home and road is huge in college basketball, and that could be enough to just decide who wins the game in the end.
Absolutely. I think that if you're an AP voter, you should, well, there's no requirement, but you should be watching games. You should be knowing exactly what's going on. You can't vote for teams that you haven't seen play. And if you haven't seen them play, that's your fault because they're on TV. And if you're an AP voter, you've taken that onus on, and you should be doing everything you can to be as diligent as you can. I agree. I think that a lot of guys they look at scores. They look at scores, and that's it.
Yeah, and that to me is the problem because you learn a lot about a team by watching them play, and every time they take the floor, it adds to the evaluation and the overall body of work. The thing that I've always been mesmerized by with the A people is the fact that it's like, oh, somebody gets a big win and they're just, quick to have a knee-jerk reaction to move them up, or somebody has a one
Arizona
loss.
State, i.e. Arizona State.
Yeah, and I guess what I'm saying is, you learn something new about a team each time they take the floor. Your evaluation, gets bigger every time a team takes the floor. And there's too much where I see the overall body of work just being thrown out the window by everyone just getting, caught up in one big win or one big loss. And I think the overall body of work should mean something.
Absolutely. Now Indiana gets into conference play Thursday. As you talked about earlier, they open up, or not open up, but they get back to it. They currently have a 2-0 mark in the Big Ten with wins over Northwestern and Penn State. They host Illinois at home. Illinois, one of the bottom feeders, I guess, for lack of a better term. But after this, they got a little test coming up, man. They got to go on the road to, and we'll talk about that next week, of course, but they've got their test coming at Michigan and at Maryland back-to-back.
Yeah, Indiana's got to be very careful here, Jim. They do not need to overlook this Illinois game because the thing with Illinois, if you come out a little flat, you come out, with a big head, it's gonna be a team that probably makes you pay for it because the pressure they put on the ball, pressure they put on your guards, and right now we don't know if Indiana will have Rob Fennessy for that game, which is kind of up in the air. Which obviously would be a big boost if they had him against the pressure of the Illinois defense, the kind of havoc defense that Brad Irwin likes to run. And, that's a game that Indiana needs to just come out and, put their foot on the gas right away and take care of business. But with Michigan coming up, Maryland coming up, there's this big stretch coming up of a lot of road games. I want to say 4 out of the 5 on the road or something like that. And you got to be road warriors and kind of hold serve, just do enough to once keep it level. And once you get back to home, you have maybe one loss, 2 loss in conference. That way, you're still right there on the thick of the conference race. And going into Michigan, that's going to tell us a lot about this Indiana team. That's kind of the first big test we've seen since probably Duke. Since then, Butler and Louisville were good wins, but this is a big-time test for Indiana to test itself against the best. And I'm looking forward to that. I want to see just, how far Indiana is along and where they, check in when I get to grade them in that game.
Well, normally I don't like a break this long for a team, any kind of team. Doesn't matter what sport. It's just that's a long layoff. But I think that this may have come at the most perfect time for this team. I think Indiana, you can use this time off to heal, to try to get some of these guys back. There's still nagging injuries and guys that they don't have. But I think that they can use that, and Illinois is the perfect game to play as opposed to a hard game, a Michigan or something like that, coming off of that layoff. And it's at home on top of that. So it seems like this has really worked out in Indiana's favor.
Yeah, the Indiana desperately needed those days off to continue to get healthy, and especially with Rob going down. You don't want to have to play without Rob for too long because it's very key to what Indiana does, and he's just a calming presence that hits time. He's got to hit timely shots, and you can't afford to not have him. And with these days off, it also gives you a chance to get a guy like Race Thompson maybe closer to being back, and it also gives you some practice time where you can work on some things and get better as a basketball team overall. And I think Archie and the staff are going to take full advantage of that. I think that's very, very big as well. And then you come back to Illinois at home, and that's a game like we said, but you have time to prepare for them because they they play a little different than most teams of the conference. And the thing with Illinois is something I've noticed with them is they're a very undisciplined basketball team. they cough the ball up quite a bit. They're up there. They're up there towards the top of the country in turnovers per game, and then you have their defensive breakdowns. A lot of times they'll give up easy baskets out of their press. Just they give up a good bit of quarter threes, I noticed, and the thing is they're giving up quite a few points per game, and they're one of the more very bad defensive teams for a Big Ten team, and it's a matchup that Indiana should quite frankly feast on.
Sounds about right. Drew Davis from Peaks.com. Thank you so much for joining us. Look forward to talking to you again at the end of the week, man.
All right, man. Have a good New Year, and I'll see you later this week.
Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you very much. Drew Davis from Peaks.com. We've got lots more coming back. Don Fisher's on the show. Stay tuned. Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle is coming right back after this.
This is Jim Coyle. When I'm not on the road covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 on the northeast side of I-65 at Veterans Parkway in Clarksville. Bring the team in for that post-win meal in the family dining area or just meet friends for happy hour. Bubba's has bold burgers, hand-tossed pizzas, mouth-watering wings, and a list of select local craft brewers for the coldest beer in town. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Burgers, pizza, beer.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
If you're a homeowner and have storm damage to your roof, you want a hometown contractor you can count on and trust. Brooks Roofing of New Albany has been doing quality work since 2006. Check out their work for yourself at brooksroofingin.com. No job is too big or too small, commercial or residential. Brooks Roofing is probably working in your neighborhood right now. Visit brooksroofingin.com or call 812-868-ROOF. That's 812-868-ROOF. Brooks Roofing, the protection you need when nature strikes.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
All right, crew, let's get her dug.
Honey, want to give me a hand? I'm planting that tree, remember?
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. This includes natural gas and petroleum pipelines, electric, communication cables, and water and sewer lines. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
If you want to get your day off to a good start, then stop at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs. While you're filling your gas tank, you could fill your own tank with a hot breakfast or try one of Billy Joe's daily lunch special. Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart opens at 5 a.m. and everything is made fresh daily. And if you bring your own mug, coffee is only 50 cents. And Billy Joe's also has free air. The best place to start your day is at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs.
If you want the most comprehensive coverage of the Indiana Hoosiers, you need Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle. Join us each Monday through Friday for interviews with the players and playmakers. Weekly guests like Don Fisher, Terry Hutchins, and Chronic Hoosier. We've got live reports from each game. No one gives you better coverage of Indiana athletics. Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle is available on iTunes and Google Play. You can follow us on Facebook or at indianasportsbeat.com. Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle. We don't miss a beat.
Well, we're coming to your city. Gonna play our guitars and sing you a country song. We'll all be flying higher than a jetliner. And if you want a little bang in your yin yang, come along.
Come on along. Welcome in to Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle here on this Monday, December 31. Last day of 2018. Thanks a lot for taking us along wherever you're going, whatever you may be doing. We appreciate you taking Indiana Sports Beat along with you. Justin Kalen high top the crew chief's box as always.
That's right. Hard to believe it's the last day of the year.
Hard to believe it is, man. Hard to believe it is, but it certainly is. Tomorrow is New Year's 2019. Holy cow. Where's my life gone? It certainly disappeared, unfortunately. But we got a lot to get to today. Don Fisher's on the program. Look forward to talking to Don. A lot of news over the weekend, a lot of sports action. Let's get to the headlines first with Justin.
All right, here are your headlines for this December 31st, brought to you by Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart, located on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs. College football national championship is set as Alabama and Clemson will square off once again. 30-3, was the win over Notre Dame for Clemson. Alabama won 45-34 over Oklahoma. NFL playoffs are also set as the Colts won 33-17 last night over the Titans to take their division and clinch the last playoff spot. Saints enter as the Super Bowl favorites. After 37 seasons total and 2 seasons at Indiana University, offensive coordinator Mike DeBoard announces his retirement last night, and it is expected today that UCLA will move on from Steve Alford. Those are your headlines for this December 31st, brought to you by Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart, located on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs.
Yeah, a little surprising news there. I'm more surprised about, well, not really. I was going to say I was more surprised about Alford than DeBoard, but no, not really. I mean, you kind of have seen this. I'm a little surprised by Alford's now.
Yeah.
I mean, now in the middle of the season usually doesn't do you a lot of good, but if the ship is sinking, I understand. Mike DeBoard now, can't say that that's a huge surprise, but it is certainly a bit of news. Now, Indiana making moves with both coordinator positions in the football program after having announced Kane Womack will be taking over the role as defensive coordinator for Tom Allen, but Tom Allen's still going to have a heavy impact there. But now the offensive coordinator position, one that he had basically assistant head coach, because Coach Allen had just said, hey, you take the offense, I'm going to take the defense. Coach Allen not really an offensive guy, so to speak. He's mainly a defensive coach, been a defensive coach his career. So it's going to be very, very, very interesting what they do with this hire, this opportunity. Do they do the Indiana thing and just move somebody up like they did with Kane Womack?
If I was Las Vegas, I would put that as the favorite, yeah.
That's going to make me so angry. So angry. Indiana needs someone who is an offensive coordinator, who has experience, extensive experience as an offensive coordinator. You know anybody available right now in that position?
Nope.
Matt Canada. I'm not saying that he is the guy, but that is somebody
give him a shot and find
that
out.
they damn well better be talking to. Yeah. Former Indiana coach, former Indiana offensive coordinator, as a matter of fact. From Indiana, played high school football in Indiana, very familiar with the high school coaches around Indiana, has an extensive experience. Pittsburgh, LSU, had a great run at Maryland last year. I was convinced he was going to be the next head coach at Maryland after the job he did.
Yeah.
What a tough position he was put in. He took over after, what was the coach's name? DJ Durkin was fired after a player died in Maryland. Then they reinstate the coach, only to have him fired again within a day because of the idiocy that they were going through there. But Matt Canada weathered that entire storm and got them within a 2-point conversion of beating Ohio State and qualifying for a bowl game. As a matter of fact, I've said it and I'll say it again. If that 2-point conversion goes and he beats Ohio State, he's the coach at Maryland. There's no doubt. They could not hire him after that. I still thought he was going to get the job. Not only did he not get the job, he's no longer there. And I have not heard his name mentioned anywhere for anything. One thing that I am thinking is that's because Indiana reached out immediately and said, hey, here's how this is going to go down. Not going to be a word said until after the recruitment is over. Then he's going to retire. And we're going to need an offensive coordinator. Now, he made substantially more money last year than what they paid Mike DeBoard. Mike DeBoard made $500,000, $500,000. I think that Matt Canada made like $750,000. Given up. The microphone died. Justin's microphone is dead. Nice. Great. Anyway, I'll just keep talking to myself. Matt Canada's available.
There we go. Now we got sound. Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I mean, surely Indiana can pour out a little bit more money to get a guy like Matt Canada.
Well, of course they can.
Will they is the choice.
That's the question. Yeah. Will they? I bet you that
we could just upgrade Mike Hart from running backs coach and pay him $500,000.
Or
that's what their mindset will be.
No, their mindset will be we're paying $350,000.
There you go. Save a little bit.
I was getting ready to say, what is Kane Womack making?
I'm not sure on that.
Now, since they weren't paying that position, was Tom Allen getting paid for that, or was they just not paying anybody for that?
That's a good question. With the way he's ranked as one of the lower paid Big Ten coaches, you'd have to think he was getting paid for that, but
I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah.
Don't know. I doubt it. But it's yeah. I mean, they're going to have to look. They get umpteen millions and millions of dollars from the Big Ten Network every year that the president is squirreling away elsewhere. I don't know what they're not putting that money into athletics. It looks like. Yeah, they built some stuff at the football stadium. But you got to have as good a coaching staff as you can have to have success on the field to put asses in the seats. Doesn't matter how many seats you put up if you don't put people in them. And to do that, you have to have a somewhat successful program. You do not have to be Ohio State. You don't have to be Michigan. But you got to be a Purdue, a team that comes along, a Northwestern, a team that comes along that can compete, that puts in a product that people want to come see, that's not overpriced at $70 a ticket, which is nuts. They're charging Michigan prices, but they're providing Appalachian State product.
I think Michigan probably charges more than $70 a ticket.
You should just leave your microphone on. Don't turn it off.
It is on. I don't turn it off.
Oh.
It turns off on its own.
That's even better yet. Better yet.
But no, I think Michigan prices are probably a little steeper than $70. I mean, and it seems expensive for a ticket, and nobody really wants to pay that, especially when, like you said, there's not a good product on the field. But
well, I'm sure Michigan fans didn't want to pay it this past weekend when they got their ass beat by Florida. Again, Jim Harbaugh now 1-11 in top 10 games. 1-11. Was that 9%?
Yeah. Good math.
Good luck. Good guess. But wow, yeah, again, last year, the Big Ten goes through bowl season, a great run. Only one Big Ten team lost last year, of course. Oh, yeah, that was Michigan and Jim Harbaugh, of course. I don't – if his name was not Jim Harbaugh, his ass would be gone from there. And I don't know what they're waiting – why – it's – yeah, they look good except for when they play good teams and they get their ass hammered.
Well, if you're Michigan, who are you going to go out and hire that's going to be better than Jim Harbaugh?
How good is Jim Harbaugh?
I mean, consistently 9-3, 10-2.
Oh, he beats the teams he's supposed to beat.
Right.
How hard is that to do at Michigan? Really? How hard is that to do at Michigan? How hard is it to beat the teams you're supposed to beat? Now, that's difficult at Indiana. That's difficult at Maryland. At Rutgers. That's not difficult at Michigan. Shouldn't be difficult at Michigan. He's been there long enough. How long has he been there now?
That's a great question. Probably a lot longer than I would have guessed.
5 years? 6 years? He's had more than enough time to get his players in, to get his group in. He's been there 4 years at least is the point. And so 4 years is a long enough time. Now, they had a great season.
Yeah, this is his fourth year.
They had a great season, but they just can't beat the big teams. But yeah, that's better off than, say, Indiana or a lot of other teams. Heck yeah, it is. But that's not their standard. That's not their standard. A lot of college football action over the weekend. The college football playoffs got underway. Notre Dame got their butt smoked by Clemson. Oklahoma got smoked by Alabama for most of the game until they made it closer at the end. Now you've got Alabama and Clemson for the fourth straight year.
Hate it.
Who else is it going to be? All they got to do is just beat them. All they got to do is beat them. Somebody else just needs to beat one of these teams.
It's true.
Do we need an 18 playoff?
That's what I was getting ready to ask. Where does the playoff go from here?
This is not the good year for this argument is the thing. There have been other years where it was, and I think that there will be other years again. I don't think it's always going to be a two-headed monster. I think you're going to have more than two teams that are worthy.
Let me tell you this stat. In 10 semifinal games in the college football playoffs, there have been 2 games decided by single digits. 2. So something's got to be done. I mean, are they putting the best 4 teams in, or are they putting in the most 4 deserving teams? And I think that's where the issue is. Not putting in the 4 best teams. You tell me that Ohio State or a Georgia couldn't compete better than Notre Dame
I don't think Notre Dame was in the top 8
exactly
of best teams.
They were the most deserving, sure. They
were not to me. How are they more deserving than Central Florida?
In terms of just record, I mean, yeah, I don't disagree that Central Florida was deserving either, but that seems like what the committee has done here the past couple of years. Let's put the teams that deserve to go in instead of the best 4 teams that are going to give us the best outcome in terms of games. That's my opinion.
Yeah, it's this year is not the year. Clemson and Alabama are so far ahead of everybody this year.
Sickening.
It's not even close. It's not. They're on a different level.
That's why I got pretty fired up last night when thinking about that they're going to play for another championship. Can we just go ahead and move Alabama and Clemson into the NFL, make it work for them? They'll figure it out.
Kind of like they do in Indiana high school sports after 4. I'm sorry, you got moved up a class.
Right. Like, get out of here. Let
You're
somebody
in the
else
NFL
have a shot.
East this year.
Right.
You're in the AFC East next season.
It's crazy.
Maybe they have to do like a high school again, and where they create 6A for just these juggernauts.
Yeah.
And
Power 6 conference.
Alabama and Clemson can fight for the Juggernaut Trophy each year. That contains 2 teams right now.
It's essentially what they're already fighting for, right? College
football used to have a lot more parity. And it's just Alabama's a machine. Nick Saban has turned them into a machine, and that's not a joke. He gets the best recruits every year. You get the top recruiting class. In basketball, you can overcome that. In football, no, because it's usually involving 20 guys. When you get the 20 best guys every year, yeah, well, guess what? When you got the best lineman, the best quarterback, the best everything, you're going to do pretty damn well.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's tough to compete with the Alabamas and the Clemsons of the world. And it just makes football not really all that fun to watch for me. I mean, you know who's going to be there every year. And one other question I have is, does the playoff system take away from the other bowl games? Because to me, it seems like it does.
No, bull crap. If I want to watch a game, I'm going to watch that game because of who the teams are.
Mm-hmm.
If whoever's playing in the whatever bowl, I'm going to watch that game. Yeah, I want to watch the playoffs too, but I would have watched that regardless because it would have been the Orange Bowl or whatever bowl. I would have watched the Rose Bowl, whatever. To me, it doesn't. I'm going to watch that stuff.
I was just curious.
Yeah, well, that's just my personal take on it. But Mike DeBoard resigning, what do you think of that? Hit us up on the text line, 812-269-6367. Let us know what your thoughts are. Indiana now looking for a new offensive coordinator. Are they going to hire from within? Are they going to go outside? I'm very scared that they're going to hire from within, but I think that the hire from within on the defensive side and that easy little deal that they did there will allow them to go get Matt Canada. I bet you that Womack does not get a $500,000 paycheck. It's probably, who knows what he was making before? Maybe $200,000. I don't know. Maybe he does. They've got the money. They need to decide what they're going to do. Are they going to try to be a better program? Try to take advantage of the great recruiting that Tom Allen has done. Because Tom Allen needs great coaches around him. He's an inexperienced head coach. And I think someone like Matt Canada fits the bill pretty well because of his past head coaching experience, because you're basically half a head coach on a Tom Allen staff when you're running the offense. Because Tom Allen is not an offensive guy. So Matt Canada makes perfect sense. He's been a head coach. He's got great experience. He's coached at Pitt, at LSU. But what are they going to do?
It's worth noting that the only other place I've seen Matt Canada's name is at Tennessee. They have an offensive coordinator vacancy as well. Other than that, I haven't seen Matt Canada's name anywhere. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I
promise you Tennessee will pay more money.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
They'll pay football
They have more money to pay, yeah.
They pay no, they don't. Indiana's got the money.
Don't want to spend it.
Indiana just doesn't spend it. They spend it elsewhere. They spend the money that is being made by the athletics program is not being spent on athletics.
Regardless of what happens with the whole thing, it seems like the program at least heard the outside noise. I mean, everyone was calling for changes. Changes need to happen, and lo and behold, changes are happening.
It's kind of hard not to hear the noise when you're getting beat over the head with it every day. I mean, yeah, there's no not hearing that. There was no more of the same could not be going forward. That was not good.
And hopefully the coaching staffs knew that, and that wasn't something that they had to listen to the outside noise. That was surely something they could see themselves.
We're late for a break. We got to hit it. We've got more coming back. Don Fisher's on the show today. Make sure you stay tuned. Indiana Sports Beats back after this.
This is Jim Coyle. When I'm not on the road covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 on the northeast side of I-65 at Veterans Parkway in Clarksville. Bring the team in for that post-win meal in the family dining area or just meet friends for happy hour. Bubba's has bold burgers, hand-tossed pizzas, mouth-watering wings, and a list of select local craft brewers for the coldest beer in town. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Burgers, pizza, beer.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
If you're a homeowner and have storm damage to your roof, you want a hometown contractor you can count on and trust. Brooks Roofing of New Albany has been doing quality work since 2006. Check out their work for yourself at brooksroofingin.com. No job is too big or too small, commercial or residential. Brooks Roofing is probably working in your neighborhood right now. Visit brooksroofingin.com or call 812-868-ROOF. That's 812-868-ROOF. Brooks Roofing, the protection you need when nature strikes.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
All right, crew, let's get her dug.
Honey, want to give me a hand? I'm planting that tree, remember?
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. This includes natural gas and petroleum pipelines, electric, communication cables, and water and sewer lines. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
If you want to get your day off to a good start, then stop at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs. While you're filling your gas tank, you could fill your own tank with a hot breakfast or try one of Billy Joe's daily lunch special. Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart opens at 5 a.m. and everything is made fresh daily. And if you bring your own mug, coffee is only 50 cents. And Billy Joe's also has free air. The best place to start your day is at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs.
If you want the most comprehensive coverage of the Indiana Hoosiers, you need Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle. Join us each Monday through Friday for interviews with the players and playmakers. Weekly guests like Don Fisher, Terry Hutchins, and Chronic Hoosier. We've got live reports from each game. No one gives you better coverage of Indiana athletics. Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle is available on iTunes and Google Play. You can follow us on Facebook or at indianasportsbeat.com. Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle. We don't miss a beat.
Welcome back to Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle here on this Monday. It's December 31st, 2018. Last day of the year. Justin Kalen high atop the Crew Chiefs box as always.
That's right.
Thanks a lot for taking us along wherever you're going, whatever you may be doing. If you can't always catch us on radio, you know you can always find us at indianasportsbeat.com. Find us at Grueling Truth. Lots of places. iTunes, Google Play, Apple Podcast. We're everywhere. Spotify. How about that?
Ubiquitous.
Look at you using the big words. Big news out of Indiana, of course, Mike DeBoer resigning as offensive coordinator, a move that was not all that surprising, somewhat expected. Last week they made the move with the defensive coordinator, finally, Tom Allen giving up those duties. But it's not a huge change there. He's just moving the linebackers coach up, so that's more title to me. Maybe some. And I guess the duties that go along with that he's going to have to perform. But I don't think you're going to see a huge change on the field. Now, on the offensive side, that's where we got some pancakes to butter. Bread to butter or something.
And syrup.
Well, that's where that's where work needs to be done. Who's going to be the offensive coordinator for Indiana? What are your thoughts? What are your suggestions? Hit us up on the text line, 812-269-6367. Awful quiet today, but that's because it's a holiday.
Everybody else probably off.
I'm telling you. Yeah, the roads were quite empty.
Gotta love that.
Raining.
Yeah.
A little rain right
supposed
now.
to, you know, it's supposed to be almost 70 degrees today.
I did not, but I knew it was pretty warm. So
yeah. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. But you know what that means. All that means is it's going to drop like
Yeah.
falling off the side of a mountain. It's going to be 12 within days.
You're right.
It happens every stinking time. A lot of bowl games over the weekend, the college football playoffs, of course. How about Purdue? Oh, my God. They gave up 56 points and a half. The most points ever scored by a team in a half. The most points ever given up by a team in a half in the history of collegiate bowl games. I'm talking back to Newt Rockne, baby. Purdue, you can hang that banner up. Woo, son. Ass whipping of historical proportions.
Choo-choo, everybody aboard the boiler fail train.
Wow. There's your $6 million worth. Wow. Yeah, they got pounded. Was it Auburn they played? Yeah. SEC Big Ten battle there. Now, when does Kentucky play? They take on Penn State, another Big
believe
Ten
tomorrow.
SEC game.
Yeah.
That should be a good game.
I think
Looking forward to
tomorrow,
that.
1:30, 2:30, something like that.
Check that out. Tomorrow on New Year's Day, of course, we will not be here.
You think that'll be a good game?
Not really, but
yeah. Penn State should roll.
They're not going to roll like Purdue got rolled.
No, it won't be that.
I don't think they're going to roll like Wisconsin rolled over Miami, like 35-3. But
No.
I think it's going to be like a 2-touchdown game.
Yeah, it's about what I was thinking.
But who knows? Bowl games are bowl games, man. You
Yeah.
you can't ever tell. Bowl games are just weird.
Agreed.
I promise you, Michigan, the beatdown they took during the season, that doesn't happen. You've had a month off. That's the one thing I always hated about bowl games. They seem to change. A team that has momentum, well, you take 4 or 5 weeks off. Well, that changes everything. So we'll see. We will certainly see. Also, Mark Richt, former Georgia coach, now former Miami coach. He resigned. He retired. Resigned, whatever. After 3 years at Miami, not a lot of success there.
I found a stat on that. Let me see if I can't see it. Temple, which lost their coach to Georgia Tech, then they hire another coach. That's the guy that Miami just hired. So they gained like $6.5 million as an athletic department in a span of 3 weeks.
Just from buyouts.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Man, they're money ahead. And they can hire a new head coach and be way ahead money-wise.
Right, yeah.
Not only that, they're going to have their head coach paid for and still have money left over. Temple's been coming on. There's a reason why. That's like the third Temple coach in a row that's been hired within 2 years.
Yeah.
That may be 3 coaches in 2 years that's been hired from there. Temple, a city program in Philadelphia, making noise in football. That should tell you something. Temple! Temple's head coaches are being hired away. Temple! Temple! Did you even know they played football?
I knew they attempted from time to time.
Their coaches are being hired away because they keep making good hires. That's unbelievable. Almost, I think that they may have had 3 head coaches hired away in 2 years.
Who's the coach that was basketball coach at Temple for a long time?
John Chaney?
John Chaney. There you go. I wonder what ever happened to him.
He's old, I can tell you that.
He's still alive. There you go, living in Jacksonville.
How old?
How about that? 86.
Told you he was old. But, so what's Indiana going to do? What kind of hires Indiana going to make? Obviously, Temple continues to make great hires. Maybe they should hire whoever's doing the hiring at Temple. Because this dude knows what he's doing. Hint, hint. Funny when you make good hires, how success follows.
I'm going to take a stab and say Indiana hires from within.
Man,
It'll be a guy like Mike Hart.
That'll burn my... That would just be very disappointing. Nothing against Mike Hart other than the fact he's got zero experience as an offensive coordinator, and this is not a place to learn. They went that route with the head coach. Going that route with the defensive coordinator. Don't do that with the offensive coordinator. Not with the talent that they have. Not with the opportunities. There's no way they do that. There's no way. They've got too much talent coming in. They've got a lot of forward progress. They've got momentum in that program. That recruiting that Tom Allen just pulled off was for Indiana. It's a big news, big doings, and they need to keep that momentum going. And to keep that momentum going, you've got to hit a home run hire here. And that is not hiring Nick Sheridan, the quarterback's coach, or Mike Hart, the running back's coach. Nothing against those guys, like I said, other than the fact that neither one of them has been an offensive coordinator, ever, anywhere, at any level.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. I'm with you. I think they have to go from outside the program. They got to bring a big name in, a guy that's known for his prowess offensively, which Matt Canada's one of those options, but I'm sure there's going to be other options out there.
Dude, they're going to have a lot of – if they can make the right hire here, they've got skilled players coming in. They've got Michael Penix coming back. You've got Tuttle, a very good quarterback coming in. You've got a running back room that is full and overflowing. Indiana always has a good receiving core, and I don't think they lost a lot there. They got a lot coming back. A lot that they could do some work with. Now, it would have been nice for that to, and that's the thing about Indiana, it just never seems to line up. Last year, this past season's schedule, man, that's the schedule you want. Oh, my God, it was so laid out for them to win 8 games. That's why I was so high on them early. I didn't know DeBoard was going to be DeBoard, and they were going to be dumb and not play Penix. Cost them winning 8 games. I'm convinced of that.
Yeah.
That schedule, man. You had Ohio State on the road and Michigan on the road. Those are 2 losses you expected to take anyway, and they're on the road. That means you had 2 other home games that made them potential winnable games. Wasn't to be for Indiana. They just didn't show up in the bigger games this year. They did at Ohio State.
Looking at the schedule for next year, there's a lot of winnable road games for this football team. You got to play at Michigan State, Maryland, Nebraska, Penn State, and Purdue.
Okay, which one of those are the winnable ones? I missed it.
I think at Nebraska, at Maryland, and at Purdue could all be winnable games. We'll see, though.
Stop and go back into it. Tell me it again. First of all, you're going at Nebraska, and that's a winnable game?
Nebraska was horrible this year.
They got better at the end, number one.
Nebraska was maybe one of the teams Indiana could have beaten this past year.
I don't think they could have beaten them this year, though.
I would have loved to see them try.
Well, maybe they could have this year. But do you think they're not going to be getting much better under Scott Frost next year?
We'll see.
And it's going to be at home?
That may have been an ignorant statement, but we'll see.
No, I'm not saying it's ignorant. I just don't think it's very educated.
Which is ignorant.
Going to Nebraska is going to be an easy win.
I didn't say easy win.
Winnable.
Come on now. It's winnable. Sure.
Yeah.
What about Michigan? Okay, what do you – is at Michigan State or at Nebraska more winnable to you? If you had to pick one.
If I had to pick one?
If you had to pick one.
I'd have to flip a coin. I think there's neither
So
are
neither.
that winnable.
Fair enough.
I mean, I think that, well, you'd have to go with Nebraska because Nebraska has not as been successful as Michigan State has been, but I think they're going to be on the rise. Yeah, if you're going to, I mean, now would have been a great time to catch Nebraska at home.
Yeah.
Next year, it's going to be a little more difficult, but I think that they can play with them next year. I agree with you. Depends on what they do with this hire.
Yeah.
I think this hire is dependent upon answering that question personally.
I'd agree with that.
That this hire totally shapes my answer to that. If it's someone like Matt Canada, yeah, I'm like, hell yeah, they got a chance. They have the talent, they have the capabilities, and they'll have the coaching and the play calling. Now, if they hire from within, nope, I don't. That changes. Just my opinion on that.
No, I think that's fair. I mean, because they could bring in a guy where you're like, I don't know that they win any games now.
Well, we're certainly going to find out because they're going to have to hire somebody, and they're not going to wait long because you've got another signing day that comes up in the spring or in the winter, whenever, February, I think. But the recruiting's pretty much done. But they have to get the offensive philosophy in there. These guys that are coming in at mid-semester, that come in January, like Tuttle, well, what offense are they going to be running? That's why this is going to have to take place pretty quickly. Yeah. And that's another reason why you hire from – if you go outside, probably going to bring in a different offense. Inside, same old, same old.
Agreed.
We've got Don Fisher coming up on the show. Make sure you stay tuned. We're going to hit a break. When we come back, we'll be talking to the voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fisher. We're back after this.
This is Jim Coyle. When I'm not on the road covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 on the northeast side of I-65 at Veterans Parkway in Clarksville. Bring the team in for that post-win meal in the family dining area or just meet friends for happy hour. Bubba's has bold burgers, hand-tossed pizzas, mouth-watering wings, and a list of select local craft brewers for the coldest beer in town. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Burgers, pizza, beer.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
If you're a homeowner and have storm damage to your roof, you want a hometown contractor you can count on and trust. Brooks Roofing of New Albany has been doing quality work since 2006. Check out their work for yourself at brooksroofingin.com. No job is too big or too small, commercial or residential. Brooks Roofing is probably working in your neighborhood right now. Visit brooksroofingin.com or call 812-868-ROOF. That's 812-868-ROOF. Brooks Roofing, the protection you need when nature strikes.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
All right, crew, let's get her dug.
Honey, you want to give me a hand? I'm planting that tree, remember?
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. This includes natural gas and petroleum pipelines, electric, communication cables, and water and sewer lines. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
If you want to get your day off to a good start, then stop at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs. While you're filling your gas tank, you could fill your own tank with a hot breakfast or try one of Billy Joe's daily lunch special. Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart opens at 5 a.m. and everything is made fresh daily. And if you bring your own mug, coffee is only 50 cents. And Billy Joe's also has free air. The best place to start your day is at Billy Joe's Gas and Food Mart on Highway 150 in Floyd's Knobs.
If you want the most comprehensive coverage of the Indiana Hoosiers, you need Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle. Join us each Monday through Friday for interviews with the players and playmakers. Weekly guests like Don Fisher, Terry Hutchins, and Chronic Hoosier. We've got live reports from each game. No one gives you better coverage of Indiana athletics. Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle is available on iTunes and Google Play. You can follow us on Facebook or at indianasportsbeat.com. Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle. We don't miss a beat. Today's guest is brought to you by Bubba's 33 in Clarksville with hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer. Pizza, burgers, beer. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville.
Welcome back to Indiana Sports Beat here on this Monday, December 31st, the last day of 2018. And as always, we're very, very fortunate to talk to the one and only Don Fisher. Don, how are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you, Jim?
Great, sir. Hope you had and your family had a wonderful Christmas holiday, and we're ready for a Happy New Year.
It was terrific. We had a great time and saw lots of family members for a couple of days, and now we're getting back to work again here.
Getting close. Indiana certainly had a long break on the basketball side of things. 11 days off, an unusually long break for them, but I think that if any other time, this could not have come at a better time for them, is to get themselves healed up and rested up and maybe get back to the semblance that they were back when the season started.
Yeah, it's kind of it's an ongoing process, no question about that. The injuries have definitely taken a toll this year and continue to do so at this point. I went down to practice on Saturday and had a chance to watch him work out, and Rob Finney is still not doing a lot, although he's doing more than perhaps somebody that's going through the concussion protocol might at this juncture. I don't think he's going to be ready for the Illinois ball game. That's just a guess on my part, and we'll wait to see how that all comes out. But he was riding a stationary bike. He was taking shots, but he was not participating in any contact at this juncture. So I think there's a real question mark whether Rob will play against Illinois. I think they're hoping to have him ready for the Michigan game on Sunday. And Zach McRoberts continues to struggle with his back issues, and he has not participated in practice either to this point since they've been back. Now, this again is as of Saturday.
Yeah, just Indiana back to having 4 guys down, which that's huge for them, because all 4 of those guys are guys that were going to be playing minutes and being a very, very important part of that team. So hopefully they can get those guys back. But it does give now in reverse, where Rob got minutes earlier in the season because of injuries. Now other guys are getting to step up. Devontae Green has been a benefactor of a lot more minutes because of Rob's injury, and he's done a great job for Indiana.
Yeah, Devontae is really, I think figured it out a little bit. I've always said that the guy, from a talent perspective, was as talented as anybody in this basketball team, but his struggles have been with his consistency to play under control, to go out there and make the easy pass rather than sometimes the crazy ones or some of the shots that he takes. But he's gotten a lot better. There's no question about that. And Archie Miller talked about that in the offseason prior to the start of fall camp, that he had a really good summer and was a much better player than he was a year ago. And I think we're seeing that at this juncture. Devontae, of course, is a guy that was slated to be a starter, as was Zach McRoberts, neither of which have really ran into that role until the last week or so. And Devontae, of course, is the beneficiary of Rob's injury situation, and I think has taken advantage of that. At the same time, Zach McRoberts still hasn't detriment because he is, without question, the most aggressive defensive player on this basketball team. Doesn't shoot it a lot, but when he does, you've got a good shot, a chance for it to go in, but he just doesn't look for his shot very often. Very unselfish guy in that regard, but at the same time, you'd love to have him out there with his defensive abilities because he can shut people down when he's at full strength. But he really hasn't been at full strength since early on in the season.
No, and we've talked a lot about Juwan Morgan for obvious reasons, but it's hard not to. How lucky is this team to have someone like Juwan Morgan? He's hitting close to 80% of his shots. He is such an every game performer. I got to go way back in my memory of someone that is so consistently there for a team.
He's very much like, it's hard to compare him because he's different. He plays the post position. He's an undersized post player at 6'8". He's not as big physically as some of the guys he goes up against, but he is so well schooled in what he is doing out there. He does a terrific job of not trying to do too much, and yet at the same time, he's very good coming out. Gets a double team. He passes out of that double team to the right guy. He makes all the right decisions. He's a great leader on the floor. He can knock down threes. He's adept at going both to his right and his left hand to score inside. He just does everything that you want a senior to do, and he was doing this same thing last year as a junior. So we've had 2 years in a row of probably as good a player and fundamentally sound and all those kinds of things that you could possibly have. He's not a spectacular guy sometimes, but at the same time, he does all the little things along with being such a major factor in outcomes just because of what he provides you on the floor. And the perfect example, he just scored 10 points against Jacksonville, but he also had 10 rebounds and 10 assists. And it's the first triple-double since Steve Downing and just the second triple-double in the history of IU basketball. That says something right there.
Absolutely, and to do that, like you talked about, also someone like Romeo, who's great. His talent is unquestionable, but I think that being around Juwan Morgan, someone that is so schooled, like you said about him, is such a benefit to someone like Romeo.
Well, I don't think there's any question. I think he's not just a benefit to Romeo. I think he's a benefit as an example to every player in this basketball team. And Romeo is a talent. There's no question about that. He's probably the most talented with the best upside of anybody in this basketball team because of the skill set that he has and the athleticism and the mindset that he has because he's a hard worker. He's very unselfish. He does all the right things as well. But he's still a freshman. He still makes some mistakes. He still has lots to learn. And you could not be learning from a better individual than Juwan Morgan.
Absolutely. Switching gears a little bit now. Actually, before I do that, they take on Illinois to get back into Big Ten play on Thursday, which is a great, again, to me, a great game for them because after that, they have a gauntlet on the road as they travel to Michigan and Maryland after that. But Illinois on Thursday, a great game to come back to after this 11-day layoff.
Well, it is because Illinois looks like it might be the most beatable team in the Big Ten, and yet you know that they play really hard. They're very athletic. They're talented. They're young. They're making some mistakes themselves. It's a ball club that I think is really well coached. I think Brad Underwood is a very good basketball coach, but they're having their problems right now. They just got beat by Florida Atlantic in Florida International. Yeah. Florida International. They got beat by them this past week in overtime. So they have had their issues. There's no question about that. And I do think that, as you point out, this is going to be a gauntlet in the month of January and early February because they play 6 of their 9 ball games on the road. And that is going to be tough in itself. So it's going to be, and you're playing most of the best teams in the league. So it's going to be really a difficult challenge in the month of January. But this basketball team has seemed up to every challenge they faced up to this point. They have lost a couple of ball games, and certainly arguably the Duke game was their poorest performance of the year. At the same time, you look at how they played other ball games in which they had chances to win them, and they found a way we haven't seen them deal with a 2 or 3 game losing streak or anything like that. Hopefully that doesn't occur, but at the same time, how they handle that situation if it does, because it could happen very easily in this league, as difficult as the schedule becomes. So from my perspective right now, there's still a lot to be determined about this basketball team and its potential. But I do like what I see out there and how hard they work in the practice floor. I think Archie Miller is, without question, the best young coach in the country. They've got all the tools, and hopefully they can just persevere in this very difficult stretch that they're about to face.
I agree wholeheartedly. Switching gears now to football, some moves on the football side for Indiana. The defensive coordinator position has been handed over to Keith Womack. We were at the press conference with Coach Allen, touched on that a little bit, that he's thinking about that. Then, of course, now with Mike DeBoer resigning, the offensive coordinator position open for Indiana at a critical time with a lot of talent coming in.
Kane Womack is a guy that Coach Allen has known for a long time, and obviously his dad was the defensive coordinator at Ole Miss when Coach Allen was there, and Kane was on that staff. Kane, of course, went to South Alabama after a 1-year stint at Eastern Illinois. I think this guy is really a good football coach, really knows what he's doing on the defensive side. And of course, because he is so familiar with Tom Allen and Tom with he, that I think this is going to be a very smooth transition to the defensive coordinator role, and I don't think we're going to see a lot of change there as far as style or what they plan on doing from a defensive perspective. On the other side of the football, Mike DeBoer has been tremendous. The 2 years he's been in Indiana, I know he's gotten criticism and all those kinds of things, but Mike DeBoer is one of those people who has taken what he's given and done the best he could possibly do with it. And a lot of people didn't like the lack of explosiveness this year for this football team, and they've kind of lacked that over the last 2 years, although they had a few more playmakers, I would say, in regard to that 2 years ago than they did this past season. But the fact of the matter is, the board has taken what he's been given and done an extremely good job, in my opinion, with that talent level and with the issues that they had. 2 years ago, they had injury after injury in the offensive line. They had quarterback injuries as well. I thought that team probably did as good as they could possibly do in the sense of what they were capable of doing with all the injury issues that they had. And then this past year, I still think that the offense at times looked really, really good. And other times, not so much. But again, I think that was a product of what they lacked from a personnel standpoint as much as it was from a coaching perspective. I just think Mike DeBoer was tremendous for this program. He basically ran the offense by himself. I mean, Tom Allen paid more attention to the defensive side of the football and just gave the offense to him. And under those circumstances, I think Mike DeBoer was tremendous. I hope that he has nothing but success in his retirement and enjoys it with his grandkids and doing all the little things that he's had no time to do over the whole career that he's had as a football coach.
Absolutely, not much time to do anything when you're in a position like that he was in. But Don, thank you so much. We appreciate you and wish you and your family a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everybody in the New Albany, Jeffersonville area down there. We're looking forward to a really successful January, February, March for Indiana.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. Don Fisher, the voice of the Hoosiers. Thank you, Don. Don Fisher joins us, as always, here on the program on the Mondays, and we look forward to talking to him again and to you guys on Wednesday, but that's going to wrap it up for us here today. Happy New Year for everybody from Justin and myself. Until then, I'll see you on the radio.